My favorite line is when they're flying in the helicopter and Tom Selleck says, we got to sneak in. And the helicopter pilot just goes,
Snake, hey, we're officially sneaking.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to Kauai, the Garden Island, the oldest island in the Hawaiian chain, the first to be visited by Captain Cook. Anything else you want to know, there's a tour guide back there somewhere.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
hey, everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast coming at you from the Slice on Oak Studios. I'm Mayor Dave Badeaux, the city brainer, and with me, as always, is my brother. Ow. Gabriel Johnson, save us.
First night of BYAA football practice tonight.
Snap.
My little guy's in fourth grade. It's the first time he's ever going to get to hit somebody.
And he, of the two children you have, seems like the one that will enjoy it the most.
He gets physical in flag or tag football on the
Yeah.
playground.
Yeah, the other one plays the trumpet.
And is a goalie. But no, Jackson's a big boy. So they have fourth and fifth grade together, and they have the lightweight and heavyweight division.
Yep.
He's a heavyweight as a fourth grader, and he's ready to go hit somebody.
That's good. That's good. And I apologize. You have three children, but two boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Should we get started here?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Be Kind Rewind. 1980. So we have been traveling through time and space, and we have rewound ourselves back to 1977. We've played our way forward to 1980. I think this is where things start to get interesting, folks. Super interesting in that if you try to just like find out information about the year 1980, you will just find nothing but things from the 80s. So it's very hard to decipher down to what is just the year 1980. But we've talked many, many times on this podcast about how my philosophy on it is that 1980 isn't all of a sudden the start of the 80s. Mm-mm. The 80s are a menagerie, let's say that, of things. And the beginning of the year is the same as the late 70s in my eyes. Kind of interesting that we're going to get to see a couple little trinkets that kind of get us moved forward into what we think of as the 80s. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's just an interesting time frame that is still very brown. I'm wearing the bright pink shirt today, but 1980 is pretty brown. It's not the bright, bright colors that we think of.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Beige.
It is very beige, very avocado.
Yeah. Just weird yellows. Piss yellow.
It is really interesting, right? Because like you think about how, like kitchens and stuff, like they're outdated. We have to make them new, right? And so when we were growing up, the outdated kitchens were the kitchens from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And they were really ugly.
Yes.
It was like the green Formica.
Yeah. Super ugly. That yellow like flour that had the brown around it. It was like yellow, brown, and white. That's the three you went with?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very
little hints of orange.
A lot of burnt orange. Our dad's first car that I remember him having was like somewhere between all rust and some hints of brownish orange. But just it's interesting from like a time frame to like think about. We're in 1980. We think about the 80s, but still it's got this 70s feel to it.
Yeah, early 80s is very sepia toned.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that actually continues into the first category that we typically talk about, which is the music of the year 1980. And it is the start of a few things, but also the end of a few things as well. And should we just get started with a couple of the bands that we noticed here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you trying to keep me on track. I have said this before we got started. Lately, my brain is turning into mush. So if I just trail off, just pretend it didn't happen. I'll cut it in editing. No one will even ever know that there was a gigantic pause between my two statements. Judas Priest.
Breaking the law.
Fan?
Yeah. Are you a fan?
Not really.
No, I'm not really a fan.
They're fine.
Totally fine. Never really did a whole lot for me. A little before my time as well. Mm-hmm. But competent. Mm-hmm. Would listen.
Yeah. People love them.
Some people love them.
Really love them.
Some people really love them. I've never understood that part of it.
They influenced your favorite movie song of all time
Which one?
from The Wedding Singer.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I've been listening to a lot of Judas Priest.
No, it's The Cure.
Oh, it's The Cure.
Cure.
Damn it.
You
Got it wrong.
Stupid son of a bitch.
I just watched that movie too.
However, I will say Back in Black.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
we're talking.
Back in Black, 1980.
Yes.
Last year, 79, our last Be Kind Rewind episode, we covered Disco Demolition Night.
Yes.
Where the rockers are getting sick of losing their airwaves to the discoers. This kind of marks the line in the sand.
Yeah.
You drop AC/DC, rock and roll is back in full swing. Or you drop Back in Black specifically.
Yeah, and I would say that the interesting thing about AC/DC is AC/DC, like even when we were in high school, AC/DC was big, like really big.
Oh, they still are. The kid that works for me now, he blasts their album all the time.
It's on the rotation at every hockey rink in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's crazy how popular they became in that whole style of music. I would say, no, granted, I don't think this is their first one.
No, this is
in
after, was it Bart Scott?
Yeah.
This is like after he died.
Yes.
Right, and they got a new lead singer and went heavier than they had been.
Yes. Yeah. But coming out of Australia, so you got a little bit of that. I think this is the same year of Road Warrior, I think.
No clue.
Or no, excuse me, Mad Max. The first Mad Max movie, which is not a great movie, which is why we're not going to talk about it in the movie section. But so Australia coming strong.
Yeah.
Olivia Newton-John is still on the charts, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
From 1979. So Australia is just beaten down.
Peak
America.
Australia.
This is probably peak Australia. Well, I don't know. Because
Did we have Men at Work releasing albums?
Apparently, Australians refer to them as akadaka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I worked with a chef who spent many years in Australia.
Do they not have electricity down there?
Yeah. And where's the "ak" come from in either one of those?
AC, Aka,
Yeah.
Aka.
Akadaka. Oh, okay. Duka. Not Daka.
Yeah.
I'm hearing two A's in the Daka part. Akadaka. Akadaka.
Listen to some akadaka, mate.
Okay, I know I'm on board with it. Awesome, though. I mean, honestly, and a great album.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, you guys are so stupid. All right, well, I'm gonna go. Since you guys are gonna talk about, do you got anything else to finish with AC/DC? Because I'd like to get a podcast going here.
I just need the track list in front of me, and I don't have it. But I will say that not 1980s AC/DC, but Thunderstruck
Oh, God.
might be one of the greatest songs ever made.
So we just did a police versus firefighter softball game, and I demanded that Thunderstruck was how we started the whole night. So
Right.
like we do the opening pitch and all that stuff, and then because it's basically we were putting on a circus essentially, and Thunderstruck is the song that I was like, and when we finish the pitch, you start Thunderstruck. That will cue up for me when to start the countdown, if you will. It is the Bulls.
I had a feeling you were going to say
Walk-up
that.
music of everything else, right?
Yeah.
Because you can only use the Bulls walk-up music for the Bulls and like maybe one or two other things.
I just learned that that's the Alan Parsons Project.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it came on. Again, the kid that works for me, his Spotify DJ played it, and I told him that this is the Bulls song. And then he got done, and the DJ was like, Alan Parsons Project, bringing it home. And I'm like, what?
Is that Spotify DJ? I just started using that. He sounds like Saul from the X Games. Do you remember the black guy Saul from the X Games?
No.
Sounds exactly like him. He's like, yeah, coming off the half pipe is Alan Parsons Project.
Look what I found. Shaun White.
I love it because AI becomes a human being, right? It's already become a human being. My Saul has basically started talking to me like, I'm going to create a little vibe for you here, see if you like it. And then I'm like, skip. He's like, I see you didn't like the vibe. Let's try something else.
I pulled up the track list.
Okay.
Yeah, we got the Iron Man theme song, Shoot to Thrill.
Yeah, I can fly.
And we got Hell's Bells. What you do for money, honey. Give the dog a bone.
Have a drink on me.
Yeah.
Let me put my love into you, and then Back in Black. You shook me all night long. Have a drink on me, shake a leg, and then Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution.
That's a fucking album.
So that's what I was going to say. That's an album that you can just put on and just rock, right? Super interesting to me that album, I'm not kidding you, would just get put on at parties when we were in high school, which is a solid
20 years later?
Yeah, 20 years later, we were listening full album.
That'd be listening to Kanye today.
Yes, without some of the extra added curriculars. But yeah, and I will also say, I think the reason why I like them, they are just the kings of crescendo. Like their songs start with just like, we're building.
Yeah,
and just a little bit of a leg shake. A little bit of a couple notes, couple drum beats, and then build, and they're going to take you home, and then boom, they're done. There ain't no fading out in an AC/DC song.
My favorite thing about AC/DC is that I can always tell that it's them based exclusively on the sound of the hi-hat.
Interesting.
Their hi-hat is such a distinct sound, and you hear it at the beginning of, is it Back in Black? It just...
Sure. Yeah.
And I can pick out that specific hi-hat every time.
Interesting. Yeah, I find that stuff really cool now that the internet has kind of moved into the realm that it is, and you're starting to get some of these people doing specific content on musicians. I really enjoy when people go and talk to the producers of the songs, and you like hear like, oh no, that was just me hitting the side of a bathtub. Like that stuff I find so interesting.
The Collective Soul guy.
Yes.
The
Yes.
He's doing that into a fucking toilet paper roll.
Yes. It's there's so much of that. And it's actually really fun to listen to that because it's kind of like the behind the scenes stuff with the movie, right? But it would be interesting to find out like, okay, what is that?
Yeah.
Because it's so distinct. Like, what is that? Is it, it's like two dinner plates that they're clapping together or something? They're doing something weird. All right, from something amazing to something that I can't stand. The Talking Heads had an album that came out.
Fantastic.
Remain in the Light. We've talked about this, and we don't like to be a podcast of hate. But as Scott has said, I am a vessel of hate.
Yes.
There are a handful of things in my life that I cannot stand, that I have a visceral reaction to. The Talking Heads is one of those things. And it is for a very specific reason. I went to art school. I was in film school, and we had a class where we were like breaking down movies and stuff. And so we did this with Citizen Kane. Like my first experience with Citizen Kane was watching it like frame by frame, talking about the light in the background and like look at the transition from this to that. It took like a week to watch this entire movie, right? Not the way to watch a movie. We did the same thing with the Talking Heads concert DVD.
Okay.
And holy shit, I can't fucking stand the Talking Heads because of it. It is one of the more nail on chalkboard things in my entire life.
Curious.
It's interesting you bring up Citizen Kane because this album, I believe, contains Once in a Lifetime, which might be one of the finer pieces of music released in the 1980s.
This is the Citizen Kane of the 80s, which explains all of it. It's really funny because it's just this one teacher that I had that was just, and he was a very cool guy, very hippie, very interesting guy that was just super into movies.
Just trying to kill time.
Well,
okay, next frame.
He just got so geeked out nerdy about the stuff that I do find interesting, but like you got to create a narrative for it, right? We watched a making of I think it's kind of like a making of concert DVD, but the Talking Heads have the one with the big suit, right? That's what everybody remembers, right? And there's a documentary movie that shows them like from start to finish this whole production. And I get it. You like it, right? I get it. You're happy about this. This is not the way to make me excited about the thing that
you've got a room full of 19-year-olds sitting here.
Yeah, that are interested in film, but like, come on, man. And it honestly, to this day, anytime I can hear them, I'm just like, shut this off immediately.
Interesting.
Paid a lot of money for that class too. All right.
You don't like Psycho Killer?
I actually do not like to talk. As soon as my brain registers that that's who they are, It is a hard shut it off now. There is like a switch in the back. It's like almost like a hostage situation. Like my brain goes back to fight or flight. And it's like, we need to go now. We need to go immediately.
My first experience with the Talking Heads was on our brand new computer, the Sony Vaio.
Okay.
It had Windows XP.
Ooh, that was a good computer.
First Windows XP debut, whenever that was.
Yeah.
And,
2000-ish.
And Windows Media Player, newfangled way to play your music.
Yep.
And they had at least one, I think maybe 2 songs preloaded onto it. And one of them was David Byrne. And I don't remember what it was called. But so everybody that got Windows XP had a David Byrne song that was okay.
That's how all their music is. All their music is like, "Hey, find yourself." It literally sounds
Same as it ever was.
I picture a clown every fucking time I picture that guy because his big ass fucking suit. Oh, look at him.
Same as it ever was.
Right off. All of it. And it's not even his fault. Totally decent human being, I'm sure. Totally acceptable music.
Band frontman, totally decent person.
Yeah, probably a dick completely.
Yeah, he's done some shit that you don't approve of.
And he did wear a really big suit for no reason. There's something wrong with
Well,
that
you
guy.
remembered it.
Yeah.
I remember it because I had to watch it over and over and over again. So, we'll come back tomorrow. We'll just see more of the big suit. Great. All right, move the fuck on.
Into the blue again after the money's gone.
I will also say that we talked about it. This is kind of the beginnings, but also some ends.
Yeah.
What did we lose?
We lost Led Zeppelin because Led Zeppelin lost John Bonham.
That'll do it.
That'll definitely do it.
How do you think he died?
Drug overdose.
Drowned in a big, oversized suit.
You're both right. He drowned from a drug overdose of alcohol, of course.
Yeah.
In a big suit?
So he Led Zeppelin, obviously, one of the biggest bands on the planet at the time.
For sure.
And they lose their drummer, and they were quoted, what did it say? In a statement released on December 4th, 1980. They almost made it through the 80s.
To the 80s.
The band officially announced, "We wish it to be known that the loss of our dear friend and the deep respect we have for his family, together with the sense of undivided loyalty and obligation we owe to the music we created, make it impossible to continue as we were."
Wow.
So just done.
That's pretty solid. I mean, you've made your bags.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been touring for over a decade. They formed in 1969.
Yeah, I think there's 2 parts to that. One part is, we're in this together, right? But you're probably growing tired of it as well.
Right, yeah.
And then also there's got to be a little bit of that coming back to reality because as a rock star, you just, you feel like you're invulnerable.
Yep, you're invincible.
Yeah, you're invincible. And then there's got to be a little bit of that of like maybe we're going a little too fucking hard.
Yeah.
Go see our families.
Right.
Because I'm sure by then they probably had multiple families. And
A lot of families they had to spend time with.
Yeah, that's crazy because Led Zeppelin is the music of the 70s. I mean, it really is.
For sure.
I think it is it is probably the thing that has endured the best from the 70s, I think.
Probably.
It created most of the grunge type stuff in the 90s. Like those guys were all growing up on that.
Yeah.
And all kind of went in different directions. But you hear like even there was just because Billy Corgan now has his podcast that he does, and he was talking with I'm forgetting his name now.
Howie Mandel.
No, God, no. Jesus, no. Do we want to talk about that real fast? Super fast?
Sure.
Because the 80s is when it was happening. If you ever want to be the most uncomfortable you've been, go watch Howie Mandel's stand-up from the 80s. Howie Mandel pretends to be mentally handicapped, and that's his entire shtick. His entire shtick is pretending to be handicapped. And it is exactly what you would think it is.
What? I just got a weird feeling in my ass. What?
How did he not get canceled?
I have no idea because I watched it, and this was years ago that I saw this, but I was like, oh, Howie Mandel. I like Bobby's World.
Right.
You know? I was like, oh, we'll hear Bobby's World voice or something like that. And then I like started watching and I was like, oh, is he?
Is he going full?
Yeah.
What is that? And then like you kind of like scratch your head and like, oh, this is literally the whole.
How long can he do this?
It was the whole, everything that I watched. I don't even remember if I made it through the whole thing, but it was long enough to where I was like, like some of it might be funny, you know, because like, okay, but like if that's the whole shtick,
right?
No thanks, man. I'm gonna move on.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Howie Mandel and his germaphobe ass. Two things that I hate.
Yeah. And you said you hate bitching about things.
And I could be wrong. Maybe I just caught a weird whiff of his nonsense, but I'm pretty sure this entire
everything he did was
that was his only bit.
I swear to God, the entire special was just him acting like he was handicapped, and it was so blatantly like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing right now? Is this because there was a lot of people laughing at it too? And it was like, I mean, I get it, right? Like, okay. But at the same time,
it's a different time, Dave.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, I don't even know where I was going with that.
Billy Corgan's podcast.
Billy Corgan was talking with the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine, Tom
Morello.
Yes. And they're both just talking about how, you know, like we both grew up in Chicago and we're both wickedly into Led Zeppelin, and then our music like went in two wickedly different directions. And it's like, yeah, that group of musicians from that time frame,
right?
That's where all that stuff came from. You know, it's incredible to see where Led Zeppelin, having finished in the 80s,
right,
or in 80, then 10 years later, this entire genre of music explodes because of them. It's crazy.
Agreed.
Yeah. Would you quit if your drummer died?
After doing it for 10 years, I think that would be like, all right.
Yeah.
Maybe indefinite hiatus.
Yeah.
Not just like we're never doing this again.
Yeah.
Speaking of Billy Corgan, he didn't
what?
Quit when his drummer died.
No, his drummer didn't die. He kicked him out of the band.
Oh.
And then now is like the person that he's like, the Smashing Pumpkins have had like 47 different iterations, and there's only like a small sliver where, because it's Chamberlain, he's the drummer, who's fucking incredible. By the way,
maybe the best drummer ever after John Bonham.
Potentially, yes, the greatest drummer of all time. There's a small sliver where they kicked him out of the band, and then when everybody else kind of moved on, Billy joined back up with him, and they've basically been together forever since then. So, yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
But yeah, the drummer's a weird one because the drummer doesn't even get most of the money.
That's the one you think you'd most easily replace. He's not singing many songs, that type of thing.
Literally is the guy getting shit on with the way the contracts work and stuff. Like when you tour, getting paid, but on the albums and stuff, he's not getting any composition or anything. You know, he's just percussion. Percussion is viewed so low, which is so strange. Yeah.
Yes, it's the groove.
It's the groove. Yes, and now that I've learned more about it, they're all just stealing everything from each other. Now that I've learned more about drummers, it's like, yeah, that's just the drum beat from this. But that's actually been another really cool thing listening to some of these musicians. Like, well, you stole that from this. It's like, I hate to break it to you, but I stole that from this.
Right.
You know.
Have I sent you videos of that fucking drummer, and that with the big beard and the tattoos?
Yes.
Who plays songs that most people need two hands to play, and he does it with one hand.
Yes.
Probably the most technically impressive drummer that has ever existed.
It's crazy to me that what people can learn to do. You know.
And he's never been in a major rock band?
Nope.
No,
He's
just a guy.
He's just
likes
on,
to
well, I
drum.
mean, maybe he is, but you don't know. But no, he's just a dude on YouTube that films little shorts of him just playing the fuck out of the drums. And it's like, I think he invented a new way to drum. The way he can like twitch his forearm to hit so fucking fast. I don't understand how it works.
I think it was one of the videos you sent me where there was a guy just saying like, I think we're in new territory.
Yeah.
I think we've crossed over into something nobody's ever done before.
Right. And now people are going to start doing that.
Yes.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
Check it out. Just YouTube, Google insane drummer
guy.
He's got a big beard, and it's just some of the most impressive shit I've ever seen.
His
in my
name
life.
is probably the bearded drummer.
Probably.
If I had to guess. Yeah. All right. Finishing off music and really, to continue on the death of one into the death of another.
Yeah,
complete
another
genre.
guy stopped recording music in 1980. On December 8th, 1980, John Lennon was murdered.
Stopped
That'll
recording.
stop you.
They stopped him in his tracks. But he was killed by a fella named Mark David Chapman.
Why do they always have three names?
Well, they always do that to the serial killers. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's like Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Oh, Michael W. Smith.
But Mark was a big fan. Big fan. Was hanging around the apartment building in the morning. Had John Lennon autograph some memorabilia as Lennon was leaving his apartment to go to the studio and record until nearly 11 o'clock at night when John Lennon returned home. And Mark was still just hanging out outside the apartment and decided to shoot him in the back 4 times.
Just cause?
Just because he was crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
Right,
yeah.
but he was a super fan and had all kinds of reasons. I don't even remember any of them right now, but nobody believed anything he said because he was just nuts.
Okay.
it is so bizarre, and it's interesting, but also like really bizarre that there was a lot of shootings at that point, right? Where people are just like, even they went after the president in a couple of years, right? Like,
Oh, we'll get there.
yeah, you're just walking up and just shooting at people, which
Yeah.
is the way to do it, right? If you're going to try and kill somebody, it's the way to do it.
Yeah, it worked for that Luigi Mangione.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're finally starting to get back to it, back to our roots, baby.
But it is so strange that you can feel so connected to someone by listening to their music that you therefore think that you need to tie yourself to them
You're tied forever.
forever. And it happens way more often than it should. I mean, granted, most people just don't get compelled to do those things, but I don't get where that break happens.
But there are too many people, whether they would go kill their John Lennon or not, too many people, they get too invested in somebody who's just like good at writing music.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Well, that's just it. Like, I get it. Music is something that gets stuck in your head and you kind of, it can lighten or darken a mood, right? It can have a visceral reaction on you as an individual. But to then tie yourself so much and wrap yourself up in it so much that you're like, I must be forever connected to this person by eliminating that person. Because what don't you also think to yourself like, but then the music stops?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You don't get to listen to much in prison anyway.
I don't know. I think you do.
Well, Mark received 20 years to life in 1980.
And then got out, I'm assuming.
Nope.
No?
He has been denied parole every
Thank
time.
God.
He's been up for it. Most recently last year. He hasn't had his 2025 hearing yet, but he's still alive.
Oh.
Still maintains his guilt.
Maintains his guilt? I
No,
did it.
that was me.
I did.
You all saw it.
At that point, you have to, because the whole point was to tie yourself with it. So how do
Right.
you?
He pled guilty. They didn't
Yeah.
even have to go to trial with him.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Four
Well, he
times.
didn't even flee the scene.
just stood there.
I'm here.
Look what I did.
Man. And it sucks that there's just people like it was outside his building, right? So
Right outside his home.
it's just a guy. Probably saw him before because I'm sure he was hanging around more.
He
often.
signed an autograph for him.
Well, I
Just
mean,
that morning.
I'm sure it was more than just that morning, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not like the guy just showed up on
Yeah.
one day and then killed him.
Right. Oh, I signed an autograph for this guy. Why is he still here?
Yes.
Like, oh no, that's just Dale.
That's just
Mark,
Dale,
whatever his name was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mark David Chapman. No relation to Tracy.
Or Stephen
Or
Curtis.
Stephen Curtis.
Yeah, we don't know.
Maybe.
I'm going to guess not on Tracy.
Miss Ono announced today there will be no funeral service. She said, "We will set a time for a silent vigil to pray for his soul. John loved and prayed for the human race. Please pray the same for him."
Yeah, John Lennon, that's an interesting one too, because you had the Beatles break up, John Lennon kind of goes on and does his own stuff, is still trying to do his own stuff.
Writes the worst song of all time. Yeah, he's not recording anymore, but they're still releasing shit he did record in the 70s and 1980.
Yeah, and to 80 until that point. But yeah, it is super interesting. I don't know. The Beatles as a group are very interesting because there's the different dynamics of the different songs from the different versions, the Paul versus the John, but also, you throw George in there. Ringo would get
he'd get his Yellow Submarine
quirky little song in there every once in a while. The goddamn drummer.
Did he do Here Comes the Sun?
Probably.
I think that sounds very much like him. Was his.
I will say this, right?
He's always upbeat.
Ringo Starr dies, the Beatles don't quit. They keep going. That's 100%. Like if they were the Led Zeppelin version and Ringo Starr died, even in a tragic boozing accident, I think the Beatles would have continued.
Maybe he was the glue that held them together for so long. Because Paul and John had their problems for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I always thought George was that guy, but maybe not. He was too busy having freaking what's his nuts,
doing ayahuasca trips and stuff,
and clap and trying to fuck his wife.
Trying to fuck whose wife?
Eric Clapton wrote a whole song about trying to fuck George Harrison's wife.
He's got to fend his wife and Clapton out from his wife.
Turns out this Eric Clapton guy, kind of a dick.
Oh, big time. Well, again, musician, very popular. I do love the part where, like, now he's like, yeah, the dirty cocaine. It's like, dude, you don't get to the dirty cocaine now, right? You wrote the song about cocaine, and it was a hit because it was about cocaine. Meanwhile, some other shit is going on, and you know what?
Yeah, you dropped your baby out a window.
Stop. I was gonna. Thank God, because I was trying to stop myself. I was like,
I wasn't gonna bring it up because we're talking about how much of an asshole he is. That's like the worst karmic retribution somebody could ever receive.
Anyways, God damn it, this is not an episode that people are gonna enjoy. I apologize to everyone involved.
Let's move on to the next news story.
Yeah, why don't we do the next
update.
one?
Yeah, if you remember last month, a bunch of students in Iran stormed the U.S. embassy and took 66 people hostage.
Yeah, they did.
I have an update on that for 1980. A couple people got sick at the end of 79. They released 14 hostages. They were down to 52. At the end of 1980, they still have all 52 hostages.
Well, see you later.
That's the update.
That's the update.
This is a long.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Yes,
that's a long time.
Stay tuned.
If it would have been in the United States, they would have burnt that fucker to the ground by now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right, let's get away from all this negativity and get to something a little bit more fun.
Yeah, just Talking Heads. Hate. Howie Mandel. Hate. Eric Clapton killing his kids. John Lennon shot.
Fuck those guys.
John Bonham dead.
No, man, that was a lot.
Oh, we're having fun today.
That was a lot. I will admit, because before we got started too, we had the argument of, because I'm always like, I don't like just hating on things, but there are like certain things that I just really fucking hate. And yeah, that was a lot. That was absolutely a lot. Well, let's talk about something a little bit more fun and uplifting.
Okay.
Let's talk about boobies.
Hey, I like boobies.
Boobs. So much so, a show came out. You may have heard about it. Probably haven't, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
No.
Probably have not heard about it. Bosom Buddies, 1980.
Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies.
2 seasons.
Okay. So 80, 81.
Into 82. They were long seasons back then. Tom Hanks.
Yep.
May have heard of him.
Yep.
It's not available anywhere.
I can concur.
It's not. You can't even purchase an episode or a season on Amazon. I found it. There's DVDs available on eBay, but there's no streaming service that carries it anywhere.
Yes, we have the DVD. You can get the DVD on Amazon. You can.
Okay.
Wasn't cheap. And then also, yes, it 100% could not find a way to purchase and consume a streamable version of this.
Interesting.
Not on a service. Not on hey, I'd like to just buy that movie or show. Zero. It is what we would call buried.
So it's about 2 dudes in the big city who basically get evicted from their apartment in the first step. The apartment gets torn down while they're still in it, but basically evicted. Their apartment doesn't exist anymore. They need to find a new place to live. One of their coworkers lives in a great apartment building, but it's the Susan B. Anthony Hotel for Women.
The hotel for women?
People used to pay weekly back in the day. Right?
We don't know if you're going to make it. It's the 80s. We don't know if you're going to survive.
But they want to move in, and it's for women only. You can't even have male visitors in this facility.
Yes.
It is for women only. So they decide that they're like art directors for an advertising agency. So they decide to go raid the wardrobe closet.
Oh, man.
Dress up as women and go get themselves an apartment.
Okay.
And
It's
we
very,
don't know.
almost Three's Company, sort of.
Hijinks to be had.
Yep. And we don't know why it's not available anywhere.
we don't know.
Some might say it's because it's men satirically pretending to be stereotypical women, because in this day and age, our tastes have evolved and we prefer men seriously pretending to be stereotypical women.
Jesus Christ, Gabe.
But I also read it could be some licensing rights issues. Like the original run used Billy Joel's My Life as the opening theme song.
Okay, yep. That probably
Even
has
by
a
the
lot to
time
do
they
with
went
it.
to syndication,
Yeah.
let alone DVD, they had to change the theme song. That was just too expensive
Yeah.
to use.
I don't need you to worry for me, 'cause I'm all right.
Okay, so that makes sense. And then also just with that, in order to get it onto streaming, you would have to strip that down and redo it. It wouldn't be too difficult, but at the same time,
Wouldn't be
it's
too
enough.
difficult. It originally aired on ABC, so that's
Yeah.
now Disney, but the distribution company was Paramount,
Yeah.
which is, so there are some distribution licensing angles that could have prevented us from getting Bosom Buddies on streaming.
I would say that there are limitations that make it, if people wanted it, then they would make it available.
Yep.
However, they have hidden it from us because most people don't even remember this show. They have hidden it from us. It is very well hidden. This is not a show that is readily available. Again, only 2 seasons, but it's Tom Hanks.
Right.
It's Tom Hanks. Everybody would tune into a Tom Hanks.
You could make money from this.
Yeah.
There's no way you couldn't make money from this. So, and especially with streaming services always needing new content, like, hey, let's go back to the well with Tom Hanks. Seems like a no-brainer.
Right. And you figure if it's ABC and Paramount, it's like you figure they'd work out an agreement to
Hulu.
share distribution rights or
Yeah.
something. It's like they both have streaming services and are both losing a lot of money.
Yes.
They already own the rights to something people
Yes.
would watch. I don't know.
Yeah, but it turns out in today's day and age,
It's just not the right time. It's just not the right time.
it's got potential in the future. Maybe when we
Yeah.
come back around.
Yeah.
I can't even.
10, 20 years?
We talked about this. I can't even imagine this show showing up on something and the chaos that would ensue.
Yeah, the absolute chaos. Everybody's angry. This would make everybody angry.
Honestly,
As men are dressing up as women. Yeah! As men are dressing up as women.
and Tom Hanks. Oh man, I think the potential for outrage is almost enticing enough to me to think, like, why wouldn't you just get the publicity out of it?
Right.
But at the same time, like, this thing is well hidden, and I think it's the hardest thing so far that we've had to try and find. Like, we had to physically go buy a copy of it to get our hands on it. I will also say that I spent some time like watching like some YouTube clips and like stuff like that, like, because I try to find something like humorous. Like, there's got to be a funny bit, right? It was tough sledding. I felt like Scott did with the Incredible Hulk in '78.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, these are the highlights.
Yeah.
In the pilot episode, when they learn that the Susan B. Anthony Hotel for Women is only for women, Tom Hanks says, well, I'm starting to buy into the theory that Eva Braun survived. And I laughed. He doesn't like a good Hitler joke.
I couldn't remember who that was.
That's Hitler's girlfriend.
Okay.
She came to New York City and wouldn't let men live in nice apartments.
Oh man. Yeah, it will be interesting to see. You gotta wonder, right? Because it can't just disappear forever. Like there's money somewhere in there. Again, it's Tom Hanks. And maybe Tom Hanks is burying it. You know, maybe Tom Hanks is saying, I will never work for you if you release this. You know, maybe, I don't know. But it is it's the most blatant version of they're hiding this that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting, which is why we must purchase and we must talk
I now
about
own the physical media. You cannot hide it from me any longer.
And I would love to see if we can't find something in Bosom Buddies to bring back up later. So that we might be.
I'll keep watching it.
We might become the Bosom Buddy podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
I do it good. Now I want you to say something for me. I want you to say, I'm a big sissy.
Oh, come on, Henry.
All right, you're a big sis. Not me.
So let's move on from that one super fast and let's get into the other show that we all consumed from the year 1980, Magnum P.I.
Yes.
So I was the one that pushed hard for this because Magnum P.I. is, to me, quintessential 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see, having just watched some 70s stuff, like how does how does that line get created, right? Because when you think of the 80s, you think of like the Ferrari and you know, like the Hawaiian shirts, and there's this kind of feel that gets into Miami Vice type stuff.
Like your Knight Rider.
Knight Rider, yeah. And this is right in that same thing. Also, one of the greatest theme songs of all time.
Amazing. When I put it in the first one, the helicopter flying over the water, the theme song just banging away, like, yep.
It's hard not to want to watch that show when like right away the helicopter dips and you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. I was super interested to see how the show would start off. I was super interested to see how 1980s version would go. And I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. It was significantly heavier than I expected right out the gate. Like, what? What happened to that guy? Immediately. First 5 minutes. First 5 minutes, I was like, holy shit.
We don't even set the scene.
Dead. What, hold on a second. He got run down and gunned, and what happened? Yeah, right away. And it's spoiler alert. He's going to meet one of his buddies, and he gets gunned down, and then they find that he's got a bunch of cocaine in his stomach.
Yeah. Just balloons full of cocaine, bags full of cocaine. He's a drug mule.
Yeah, I take it back. He did not get gunned down. He dies, but they find that he died from
an accidental overdose.
Yes, accidental.
And they want to strip him of all of his awards and military honors and everything.
Right.
Yes. So that was the thing that I found very interesting on this. Going back to Incredible Hulk, we've had a bunch of feedback from the Incredible Hulk
community.
Bruce is gay.
Clip.
And a lot of people have said you got to go watch the 2-hour premiere movie, which I kind of had forgot about that. I didn't consume it because it wasn't a part of the thing that I purchased. Right?
The Hulk?
Yeah, the Hulk. I just started on episode. I think it was episode 2.
Okay.
But the first one is, and this was a lot of what they did back then, they would start off with made-for-TV movies.
Sure.
And then that would then turn into the series. Mm-hmm. And this was blatantly obvious that happens.
I was surprised. Like, you're starting off with 2 1-hour specials for the pilot. Holy cow.
Yeah, and it was very well done. And so it did make me think like, well, maybe we got to go back and give the Hulk just that starter movie a shot, because episode 2 was not good. But Magnum P.I., same thing, like just starts off, and I was like, this is actually good.
Yeah.
I actually thought to myself, this is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
And was surprising because we've watched some pretty bad 70s television.
It's got a great premise, right? It's 1980.
Yes.
So these guys are like established in their careers doing what they're doing now post-Vietnam.
Yes.
They're all buddies who were at war together 8 years ago and absolutely love and support each other, but are doing different things. But it's just great.
Yeah, that was the thing that I really want to talk about with this, because it is a great setting for the 80s, and we had it as well. You were surrounded by people that were in Vietnam when they were teenagers, essentially, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had teachers multiple that were in Vietnam and would talk about it. And there was a whole section of the specifically early 80s, which is very Vietnam present. You know, like we go back 10 years and that is Vietnam.
Right.
And I found that part interesting to this, in that, okay, these are actually, they're military guys.
Yeah, TC, is that his name, who drives the helicopter?
Yeah.
He's a Marine helicopter pilot.
Yes. And then what does that guy do? Goes and starts a helicopter business where he's flying tourists.
And I was thinking while I was watching it, the 80s had a lot of helicopters.
Yes.
And that is probably the Vietnam influence. There were a lot of guys who knew how to fly helicopters.
That's exactly
sure.
what it was. And I think that's the coolest part of this, is that there is this segment of the 80s that is so related to it, and yet this kind of brought it present. So much so that the helicopter that is in this, that little Huey, there was one of those at the theme park. We had a local theme park.
I was gonna ask about that. Was it the same fucking
It was
one?
the same. It was the same Huey helicopter, and they painted it the same way.
It was the same color that flew over my house 10 times a day growing up.
And I didn't think about it until then. It was like, oh shit, you painted this the Magnum P.I. color.
Hell yeah. Why wouldn't you?
I just figured it was like, oh, that's what color that helicopter is. It's like, oh, no. You painted that helicopter to be Magnum P.I.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Which I will also add this. Pretty cool, the helicopter stuff. And it's interesting because it gets less as the show, or at least I shouldn't say that. Season 2 becomes more of like what you would think of as an 80s TV show. You know, it becomes very episodic, very much like the budget dips in certain things.
When they find their formula and just get told to hit that.
Yeah. But from the start, like I'm like, dude, they're doing some shit in that helicopter too. We watched a thing on what is the Tropic Thunder. So Tropic Thunder, there's tons of footage in that movie where they didn't have real helicopter blades going. So they would have like a helicopter hull like on a crane, and then they would just put in with CG the helicopter blade because it was too expensive for
Gay.
Yeah. But it was too expensive for the insurance. The shit happening with the helicopter in this show, I was like, holy fuck, dude.
No, Tom Selleck is in that helicopter.
He jumps. There's multiple times where he like jumps out of the helicopter with a fake gun, and it's like, I don't know if I want Tom Selleck doing that. Yeah, pretty wild.
Yeah,
and pretty good. The thing I enjoyed about it the most is from the premise. I was like, I'm trying to remember why he had, like he lives in Hawaii. He lives in like basically a mansion, and I'm like, what the fuck is the plot of this? I don't remember how he got there, and it's interesting. Like I kind of like what they did with him is that they continually beat him down to make him an everyman. Meanwhile, he gets to drive a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right. So the premise is that and very, very silly, I would say, by the end of the first season, you finally meet Robin, whatever his name is or whatever, that owns the house. But he's a famous writer that owns mansions all over the world and just lets Tom Selleck live in the guest house.
Yeah. As long as he does security checks.
As long as he does security checks. Yeah. And meanwhile, there's another guy, Higgins, who is the security officer for this estate. And then he just lets hot women come and hang out in Hawaii. Fucking amazing premise. Who comes up with that shit? That's amazing. So it's like, we're going to do a private investigator show, but we got to get away from the 70s private investigators.
Right. And he's not really a private investigator. I mean, I don't even know how he makes money. I only watched the first few episodes, but it's like the first episode, too, he's just trying to exonerate his buddy.
Yeah.
There's no money in exonerating your buddy.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Except for he got the gold at the end. But then in the second episode, he doesn't even do PI work. He's like a bodyguard.
That's
so
true.
he's not even a PI. I don't even know how he makes money, let alone drive a Ferrari and live in a mansion.
Eventually.
I don't know how he eats.
I think that's kind of a common occurrence, a reoccurring thing where he's just like, no, I'll buy this time. The guy says, what are you going to pay with? A marker?
Yeah, that's true. I'll get you the gas money.
Yeah. That was the part I enjoyed about it the most. And his buddies from Vietnam ripping on him, right? Like, you're poor, dude. You don't have any money. What are you talking about? I need you to fly this helicopter. I actually enjoyed that the most because they like continually bring you back to reality a little bit. He's like, I need you to fly me over to the other island. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, that costs money. I have a business. I really enjoyed that because it was like from the outside, you're just like flying helicopters and driving Ferraris, and you're like, heck yeah, man, it's just gonna be the 80s. It was very grounded. Yeah, very grounded. His friends were letting him know that he was a piece of shit.
You're never gonna pay me back.
You're never gonna pay me. I'm trying to run a business.
I have a tourist booked.
That actually happens. That happens in the show.
Oh, they're in the helicopter with him, and he's just yapping and not looking where he's going. And the tourists are like, shit, and he's gonna fly into the side of a mountain the whole time.
Oh, my favorite line is when they're flying in the helicopter and Tom Selleck says, we got to sneak in. And the helicopter pilot just goes,
Snake, hey, we're officially sneaking.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard. We're in a fucking helicopter,
time
you
to
dummy. Okay, we're officially sneaking.
Yeah.
Helicopter in sneak mode.
That reminded me
onto an island.
Right. That reminded me of, I think it's one of the newer, like Night of the Living Dead movies or something like that, where these guys are they're on top of a roof.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden this helicopter shows up and everybody's like, oh my God. It's like, well, you didn't fucking hear that coming? How did you get surprised by a helicopter?
Oh, man. I loved it. I really did. I just couldn't believe it because he's like, we got to sneak. Okay. Okay, Magnum. But pretty fun. I will say that I was continuing to watch it last night. I'm in the middle of season 2, maybe towards the end of season 2. Callie got up and was just like, I can't do it, and went to bed. So it definitely still has, by that point, it turns into a show, right? From 1980, 1982.
And an hour-long show.
Hour-long show. It is long. And sometimes it gets a little bit comically bad. But I will say it starts off with a bang. Those first 2 episodes are really fucking good. And I would say even through the first half of the first season, most of it I enjoyed. I thought it was really good. Not that it gets bad by any means. I'm interested to see how it continues because it went 8 seasons. This is one of the biggest television shows around. And pretty cool. Pretty cool. The one thing I do want to say, the private investigator part of it. So on the first disc of the box set that we purchased here, it had a bonus feature, which was an episode of the Rockford Files.
Is that what that was?
Yep, it was the
I was
Rockford
so
Files.
fucking confused because I went to the bonus features and it was like season 5 something. I was like, why do you all of a sudden have season 5 on your season 1 DVD?
Yep.
And then it was just some other dude.
So
and I checked out, but then all of a sudden Tom Selleck shows up, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
So that's why it was on there. They added it to this as a nod of here's Tom Selleck in the Rockford Files playing. He's just playing a supporting character. But they're kind of acknowledging that this was a continuation of that concept.
Okay.
That was the introduction of the character?
And not necessarily, but just they're basically telling you we had the Rockford Files and that did its run. It ended in 79, and then in 80 is when Magnum P.I. started, and it's the same concept. He's a private investigator, kind of, still struggling, that sort of thing, as a private investigator should, right? You're living on your daily account that somebody gives you $200 to
that somebody needs a mystery solved.
Yeah. And
any mystery.
But I thought it was an interesting nod because in my head I said, okay, I wonder when the Rockford Files ended, because I was like, this is very much the same. And I said, I wonder if it's the same people. I don't know if it's the same people, but it definitely was a nod to this ended, we started this. And it is in the way we've been looking at this chronologically. It is a cool thing to look at. Like, okay, here's a show from the 70s that was famous and just a premise that works. And then, well, let's make it the 80s. And then the 80s version is, all right, well, now we're the Vietnam guys. But by the way, we also want to have a Ferrari. And I
race Corvettes and Ferraris down the highway. Yeah,
and
why
that's
not?
just it. Yeah. So 2 things about it. One, this really kicks off the Ferrari type thing in terms of television in the 80s that you think about. Because like we said, you talk about Knight Rider, you talk about the stuff that goes on from there. Miami Vice. This is before that. This is kicking that off in an interesting set piece to get you
Yes,
there.
we were probably mad at Italy for a long time
Maybe. Yeah.
after World War II.
But the other thing about it is two things. One, he was too big for the Ferrari.
Yeah, I read that.
Yep. So they had to basically change the entire seating arrangement in the car so that he could sit in this car, which is crazy. And then the second thing that I think is wickedly bizarre is that the theme song, at least on this box set, is present for that first movie. And then it changed. And all of a sudden it was a different theme song, which totally ruins the show. Totally ruins the entire vibe of the show. And I was like, I wonder what the hell that's all about. So halfway through the first season, they're like, this theme song is not what we want. And they came back and rewrote an entirely different theme song. And so halfway through the first season, I think it's like episode 8 maybe, all of a sudden there's a new theme song, and that's the theme song that we remember. And the first one is not good. It's very jazz. Like, it's very, I don't know.
I was into it.
The first one, the jazz.
The first few episodes, yeah.
I think it's episode 3 that they have the jazz introduction, and it starts off with like his wheel spinning and kicking up dirt, and then it's like very slow and melodic. And it's like, no, give me the helicopter dive bombing and the dun 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 dun. Dun. So those were my two big things from Magnum P.I. Do you guys got anything else from it?
I liked the dogs.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
But
Zeus and Apollo.
Zeus and Apollo. But I love Dobermans. Dobermans are gorgeous animals. There was a person that lived in my neighborhood that had one a couple years ago walking by, and I had like never actually seen one in person. He was just walking in front of my house, and I stopped and I was like, that is a fucking gorgeous dog.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But this is kind of before animals were really taken care of on sets.
Oh, no.
And there wasn't a whole lot, but there's the very first scene when he's trying to steal the Ferrari.
Yep.
And he drives through the gate as the gate's closing.
Yeah.
And that dog runs into that fucking gate. Full fucking speed, dude. And I was like, oh, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's not good. And then there was the episode with the little girls, and one of the little girls gives the dogs like gumdrops or something.
Yep.
But so the dogs are like super, like one's like clawing at its own face, like get this thing off. Like, I don't know what they gave to those dogs, but they were wildly uncomfortable. And I was like, I'm not so sure about that. But another thing with the dogs is the guy goes to throw him a treat, and they fucking ADR in somebody else's voice going, ow. I run. I was watching it with Angie last night. I go, did you hear that? And she's like, what? And I run. I go, listen.
Yeah.
And she goes, what? The dog sound? I said, that is not a dog. That is a human being going,
Oh man, yeah. There's so many little things like that with the sound effects that I thought were super fun too. Because there's actually a point in episode 3 where there's like a box under the seat or some kind of bomb or something, and it clearly plays the sound effect from the $6 Million Man.
Yes,
which is such a recognizable sound effect.
Yeah,
like what are you doing?
Yeah, and it was really short. It was just short enough for you to be like, "Was that?"
But it clearly was. Yeah, and then I think it was episode 4 with the little girls. That one was like, dude, get me out of here. What are we doing right now? But still, it was fun. I did like that. So you've got where he keeps having all these hot ladies come by, and then there was a point where some girls that weren't super hot came by, and Magnum's response is just, Robin's taste in guests has really declined. Just nothing but hot chicks. So there was the two things that I did want to add was that he's constantly just grabbing chicks and making out with them. It's just straight.
They
80s.
just can't help but fall in love with the guy. They get face to face with him, and they just cannot help but want to be kissed.
They all say no every time. Every time. No, Magnum. And then he just grabs them and makes out with them. But also, I wanted to look up to see like what the population of Hawaii was in 1980, because the amount of murders that one man is involved in is alarming enough to where it would be like, no, you don't get to be on Hawaii anymore. I don't care if you were the victim or the person shooting or doing whatever, but the amount of people that have died next to you, Magnum, guest of the man, you don't even pay taxes here.
Yeah. Are you even a citizen?
964,000.
There are
not even 1 million people in all of Hawaii.
and there is at least one person that dies every single episode of the show. It's like, you know what? Somewhere around murder number 5, they go, I'm sorry, we're going to send you home back to the mainland.
Sorry, soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of murder, Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, yes.
Crossover episode, Magnum P.I. and Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, because I love Murder, She Wrote.
I know.
I love it. Listen, a good old-fashioned whodunit is fun. When it's just a snarky lady, snarky old lady.
Yeah, it's just your grandma.
Just a snarky grandma just solving crimes with her doofus buddy, the sheriff. Fantastic. You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Again, everywhere this writer who writes murder goes, people die. People go like, listen, why don't you give me your collection of books here?
Somebody would notice. Yeah, what are you working on next?
Everyone just keeps dying. Those are my favorite episodes of when she leaves, because you couldn't just have her in her little tiny town, everyone dying. So then every once in a while she's like on vacation visiting California, and sure someone dies again. All right, maybe tone it down, Jessica. All right, it is almost time to get out of here, folks. Let's do 2 more things here. I wanted to talk super fast because sometimes we'll talk about toys, sometimes we won't. But I do think it's interesting in this time frame from both technology and just straight up regular toys.
Yeah.
There were 2 things that happened that were pretty huge. One is the Rubik's Cube. So not created in 1980.
Okay.
Created in 1976, I believe it was, by a Hungarian. It was released internationally.
Mr. Rubik?
By a Hungarian?
God, what the fuck is that? I don't, like, we can't keep that.
It's an Aryan with a big dick.
Yeah, that's for sure getting
blonde hair, blue-eyed, huge dog.
There's never been a clearer phrase to get us demonetized than Hungarian.
No, not like killed.
No, I
got
know.
big dick.
I know. We'd be better off if he was hanging from the rafters. His whole section's not making the video for sure. But yeah, so this gentleman, let me just pull it up because I did actually look up the information here. Professor Erno Rubik.
That called it.
Yep. But he called it the Magic Cube.
An idiot.
You know, moron. But yeah, it was rebranded in 1980 and released internationally as the Rubik's Cube. And I take it back, it was 1974 that he created it.
Wow.
So 6 years later, rebranded, released internationally, #1 selling toy of all time.
Believable.
Yeah, checks out.
Pretty much everybody's owned one.
Everyone has owned one. Ever solved it?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Never memorized the solution.
Okay.
So I did memorize up. My son was into them like 7 years ago.
Okay.
5 years ago. I memorized, you get the one side done, then the first row, second row. But then I would have to go look at a cheat sheet to finish up that third row. But I had it 2/3 memorized.
Okay. Yeah, my son Maverick got pretty into it for a while. I don't know if he ever actually fully finished it because he was like trying to get it down to where he just. I take that back. I'm pretty sure he has finished it.
Probably. I have not.
Yeah, I've always tried to just figure it out on my own. I've never sat down and like looked at actual steps for it.
Yeah, the formula is pretty easy once you learn it.
Yeah. Super crazy though. It is the best-selling toy of all time with over 500 million cubes sold worldwide in the Rubik's Cube brand alone. So in 2000, the patent on the actual cube itself expired. So they own the brand name of Rubik's Cube, but do not own the actual
so now you could make
device.
yourself a magic cube or something.
And there are tons of them. Speed cubes, stuff like that. So, but yeah, crazy. I think when you think of 80s toys, you think of the Rubik's Cube, you know, and it's so interesting that everyone had one.
Yeah.
Everyone had one. And the majority of people will never fully complete that cube.
Nope.
Yeah.
You ever watch the videos of the nerds like juggling them?
Oh my
and
god,
solving
doing
them
them
in,
while
like,
you're
seconds?
juggling.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to like do the blindfold and solve it in like 5 seconds or whatever.
Yep.
But when you're juggling and turning,
Yep,
like
getting a twist.
Get the fuck out of here. Go draw a picture.
Yeah, for real.
I could watch those videos for that. This is
Go
amazing.
build something.
You could be so much. I hate the talking head. Scott hates the kid juggling Rubik's cubes and solving them.
I imagine he's also on the math team.
Probably. Probably. Yeah, according to what I have here, the fastest, at least as of February of 2025, 3.08 seconds.
It's pretty quick.
And that is an Asian name. So
Say it.
I will not.
Say it.
Actually, it doesn't seem too bad. It's like Yi Hang Wang. So that seems
Yi
pretty.
Hang Wang.
It's YIHENG. Yi Hang, I would assume. Yi Hang, maybe. And then Wang is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, that makes sense for a Hungarian
Yeah.
toy.
If you had to guess, the fastest that a robot has done it, and this is Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube?
Yep, that is the name of the robot.
It's a terrible name.
It holds the Guinness World Record for the fastest solved. If you had to guess how fast,
The fastest. Like
He beat the
human.
Wang.
Faster than 3.08.
significantly,
0.2 seconds.
0.8.
0.103.
Wow.
How?
Tenth of a
Yeah, that's not even.
You just, how does it, yeah, but that's not fair.
Does that not break the cube?
Yeah, how can it, it just takes it apart and puts it back together,
Right.
all in one piece. 0.01 or 0.103. That's not even, can you even see that?
That's this fast.
Yeah, can you even see that happening? I don't know. That's crazy to me. So I found that very interesting. I also loved that Rubik's Cube, like they tried to like get that into like more type branding and stuff. Like, didn't they have like a cartoon with a Rubik's Cube or something? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, that'd be a waste of money. Just get it in every movie.
Yes.
Get it in every movie.
Yeah.
People will keep playing.
Or, you know, have a movie where it has the magic powers. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's in a. It's fucking. Dude, Where's My Car?
Is it?
I think it's Dude, Where's My Car.
Is that
So
how
the-
they solve where their
the
car
whole
is?
movie, he's trying to solve a Rubik's Cube, and then he finally does.
And the car appears?
It's not the car, but it like becomes this like it's
A portal.
It's like
Sweet.
a weapon or something. It's some kind of energy something. I think it's Dude, Where's My Car?
Strange. Okay, we got to wrap this episode
Maybe
up.
it's
So,
not.
Well, one more.
yep.
Give her rip the stickers off.
No, and that's something I would do.
I got in trouble once
Uh-oh.
with somebody else's Rubik's Cube. I was like, I'll
shit,
just rip these are stickers. I'll just sit here, take 25 stickers off and put them back on and it's solved.
What a dick.
But I didn't get completely finished with the task, so that cube has never been solved.
Well,
Or
that
it has, but you have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has been one of the things with the Rubik's Cube that like people, the original version of the cube, people are like, no, you can't have the original version because it's really rigid and you like have to line it up perfect and get it into place. And then the stickers have a tendency to scratch or come off. Like now, you know, they're dipped in the paint and they're all way quicker. Give me just a cube that I can just set on my counter and just call it a day. So. And then real fast, just to end the episode, Pac-Man.
Yes.
And Pac-Man Fever. I just want to talk about Pac-Man super fast because Pac-Man was, I will say, maybe the most influential game up to that point.
Yeah.
Space Invaders, maybe, because everything was a copy of Space Invaders. Pong, maybe, in that Pong likes was kind of what drove things. But Pac-Man then led to an entire industry being formed because the concept of it was we want to make something that girls want to play as well, or that a girl will stand next to with her boyfriend and play.
Yeah.
Wildly influential and took gaming from being just the boys throwing coins into it into something that the ladies wanted to be involved
That's
with
the secret
as well.
recipe for gaming is what will a girl watch her boyfriend play and not break up with him?
There is a reason why Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was the biggest game forever. Girls would sit down on the couch with us, hot chicks would sit down on the couch in the late 90s and play Tony Hawk, and we would pass the controller with them, and they loved it. Girls loved Tony Hawk.
Hit the ramp and push a button?
Yes.
I can do that.
I can do that. Same thing here. It was just a game that was designed from the very beginning to be something that women would enjoy as well, and was super successful. Very interesting in that the original Pac-Man is kind of broken in that it is solvable, essentially. It has been, people have reached the kill screen of it, and Billy Mitchell, who
of King of Kong fame,
claims to have had the first one and is still in some circles recognized as having the first ever kill screen, where essentially when you get to a certain point, the memory can't load the memory quite accurately enough. So it stores certain pieces onto pieces of the memory and then has to call something back up. And at some point, half the screen just becomes a jarbled mess that you can't actually complete. And Billy was the first person to actually do that. The problem with the game itself is that you can put it into a state where you can basically get the ghosts to do what you want. I was telling these guys before we started, I was watching a video about how the ghosts work and stuff, and literally was falling asleep watching it. So we're not going to get into that on here. But each ghost has its own personality, but they're all predictable in that you can make them do what you want them to do. And so you can put them into patterns that you can then use. So it is a solvable game. Miss Pac-Man, we will talk about in a couple of years, I think is a perfect video game.
Okay.
From top to bottom, a perfect game. But Pac-Man basically started what would really become the industry exploding into what it became.
Sure.
And I'm probably confusing it with Miss Pac-Man, but it's not uncommon to even nowadays walk into an establishment that's got a table.
Yes.
It's usually Miss Pac-Man.
Typically Miss
I
Pac-Man.
have Miss Pac-Man in my restaurant.
Yeah, Miss Pac-Man is it took the initial game and then said, and we'll get into that when we get to it, but it took the initial game and just made some tweaks to it that makes it so much more enjoyable from a standpoint of there's actually less of just do the exact same thing every time and you'll be fine. So, but super cool. And not only that, but the ghosts themselves, Pinky, Blinky, Inky, and Clyde. In Miss Pac-Man, Clyde becomes Sue for whatever reason. It just did.
Okay.
Yep, it just did.
You know, the original name for Pac-Man was Puck-Man.
I do know that.
Not because he looks like a hockey puck, but it's Paku Paku.
Paku Paku.
It means flap your mouth.
Yep. Paku Paku.
But they thought that people would scratch out the P and turn it into an F.
Yep.
Like fuck man.
Would do.
So when they brought the game over from Japan, the company here, I believe it was Midway, said, yeah, we got to change that. We're going to go ahead and not, because all you'd have to do is just scratch out.
And you already have a pocket full of quarters.
So yeah, it was Puck-Man. And then they changed it to Pac-Man specifically so that kids couldn't make it say Pac-Man.
Yes. And that is a direct quote from the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Which is a great movie.
It's my favorite movie.
Great movie. I also really love the fact that it was inspired by a pizza as well. So there was a pizza sitting there with a slice removed from it. And it seems like one of those things that is just complete bullshit. But supposedly it's been confirmed that that is true. There was a pizza with a slice out of it.
They didn't eat pizza in Japan in 1980. They ate exclusively sushi and octopus. Sticky rice.
Maybe it was a pizza. It was octopus pizza. I don't know. I do think it's funny because I tried to look that up again, and then I went directly to Google and I said, Google fact checked this for me. And then I said, fact check it again. And it came back twice and said, facts confirmed as true. And then put that under that. So it could very well be that it's bullshit, but I'd always heard that, and I never believe any of that stuff because it just seems so ridiculous.
Right. Well, and nowadays with the fucking AI, you never know when they're telling the truth or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Yes.
But I have to fact check my fact checker.
Yes. Yeah. I have started cross-pollinating my stuff as well to make sure that the things are accurate. And again, it could be inaccurate because it doesn't take much for it to be inaccurate. But
I mean, fuck. One time I can't even remember what I was making, but I was talking with ChatGPT about making something and shelf life. and it recommended that I add mayonnaise to it. And I said, did you just suggest that I add mayonnaise to this
to make it
more to make it last longer,
more shelf stable?
Yeah. And it was like, oh yeah, sorry about that. Like, yeah, fuck off.
Are you trying
if I didn't know better,
nope,
I would kill somebody.
Nope, that's how the robots will kill us. They will just tell people to add mayonnaise to things, and that's how the robots will eventually kill us.
According to the AI, which we don't trust,
right?
But the American GIs made pizza popular post World War II, 40s and 50s.
There you go.
By the 70s, they had Pizza
Yeah.
Huts and Shakey's Pizzas
Yeah.
and just American chains across Japan.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. That is the end of 1980, except we will be back next week with the movies of 1980. I know we said we were going to talk about the Satanic Panic, but we're going to talk about that in a couple years. We're
Yeah,
gonna give a little
I got
pause
scared.
on
It
that.
freaked me out.
It did freak us out. But we will be back next week with Jesse, and the movies of selection are The Empire Strikes Back, Caddyshack, Blues Brothers, and Airplane. Boom.
Yes.
Got them
Nice.
all. There we
Yes.
go. So with that, folks, thank you, Scotty.
Yes.
Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.
And we are done.
Well, no, we gotta go. We gotta
No,
go.
we gotta go.
I'm
I'm gonna be late for my
I'm
thing.
gonna filibuster your thing. You're gonna just miss the whole damn meeting.
So,
I can see it here all day.
So Scott came to my mom's house on Saturday
Yeah,
and was like, Gabe stopped by the pizza restaurant
I did.
on Saturday. So this was Saturday. He's like, Gabe stopped by the pizza restaurant tonight. And I go, oh, did he? Because I also heard that Gabe Johnson was downtown. So you said,
Well, we had just sat 40 plus people,
yes.
and we had about 18 tickets hanging, about as busy as we get.
Yeah.
And I hear a tug at the back door. I'm like, well, who the f would that be? And then my guy Mikey comes back in from smoking, and here comes Gabe Johnson just wandering in.
Inebriated.
And I'm like, what's up, Gabe? And he's like, I just want to see what the kitchen looks like.
I wanted a tour of the kitchen.
I just want to see what your kitchen looks like.
Let's see what it looks like a kitchen. A busy night. And I said, Gabe, you picked the right night. We're busy as f. Stay out of the way. It's about as stern as I get.
Yeah, you were like, not today. We are too busy.
So he tells that story, and I'm like, oh, that's wonderful, because I went down to Shep's. We had the Grand Elbow, the Elbow Convention. We nominated the next Grand Elbow, and like one of the first things that somebody says to me is, Tad Johnson was here. We had to kind of shoo him out the door.
Yeah.
And I go, what does it sound like, Tad? I go, did he have a beard? Like, I don't know, but he had a ponytail. And I go, that's Gabe. So
you were encouraged to leave the establishment, and on your way home thought, I'm coming to this
they
kitchen.
just said,
Yeah,
they
as
said,
I'm walking home, I'm like, oh, I didn't really want to go home, but here I am. We'll stop and see what Scotty's doing.
So there was just whispers on the Saturday night of the misadventures of Gabe Johnson.
Yeah.
I just thought it was fun because they're like, Tad Johnson was here. So the nice thing you got going for you,
Yeah, thank God, Tad.
everyone thinks it was Tad.
Good. Not everyone, because I talked to Cody. I mean, some people know who I am. But no, but it was a long day.
Yeah.
We had our fantasy draft started at 11 that morning. We were downtown by 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I decided to just hang out with our fantasy football guys who come up from the cities.
Yes.
And what do? Drink beer and play pull tabs.
Yes.
We probably pulled over $2,000 in winners.
Unbelievable. And
Holy
spent
shit.
$3,000 to do it. So.
No.
Oh, really?
I woke up the next day with a lot of money in my wallet. no ATM charges to be found.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was
Yeah.
a good day pulling tabs, but also got inebriated quite
Yes.
early. It was light out.
Yeah, they were like, it's about 6 o'clock when this happened. I thought it was hilarious because they're like, because just the way they said it was like, well, we had to ask Tad Johnson to, find his way home. And I was like,
Tad?
I go, that doesn't sound like Tad. And it sounds like Bruce. And then they're like, does he have a beard? I don't remember if he had a beard. He had a ponytail. And then I just started laughing so hard. It's like, that's Gabe.
She said, yes, that was Tad. Good job getting it.
No, I said, this is what I said. I said, I love that everyone thinks it's Tad. We're going to continue to say it was Tad.
And then I show up and say, oh, Gabe stopped by.
Yeah, and then I just
Like,
I started laughing so hard.
I've heard about him.
I was like the whole night. I could just trace Gabe's path back to his house.
Forget about it.